Hey guys, welcome back to another movie review. So tonight, I just got back from watching Twisters. Before we start this review, let me just go ahead and get this off my chest real quick. I never grew up with watching the original Twister movie from 1996, but I did watch it a week ago for the first time, and I thought it was a cool and enjoyable disaster movie. So when I heard that they were making a standalone sequel to that movie where it's gonna have not just one, but two tornadoes, I was like, okay, I'm interested. The trailers were cool, and that's how I got excited for this movie. And now that I have seen the movie, I gotta say, I had a blast. To say that I enjoyed this movie from beginning to end is an understatement. So basically, this movie follows a storm chaser named Kate, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, who is assigned on a mission to return to Oklahoma to try to take down a big system of storms with this social media tornado wrangler named Tyler, played by Glenn Powell. There was a bunch of things to process here, so let's break down the best and worst parts of the movie. The best part of the movie is easily Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell as Kate and Tyler. Daisy and Glenn were absolutely incredible in these two lead roles. These two characters had such amazing chemistry throughout the majority of the runtime of this movie, and overall, yeah, I really like these characters a lot. Another thing I found really enjoyable about this movie is the action sequences. I think it's fair to say this, but the action scenes in this movie were done really well. There's a lot of tornado madness, there's a lot of driving around, there's a lot of storm chasing, and those types of sequences just blew me away. And overall, the action sequences in this movie were absolutely electric. Another thing I want to give this movie credit for is the soundtrack. Now, look, I'm no country guy myself, but I'm not gonna lie, this movie has some good country songs. I thought the country songs in this movie just perfectly fitted the Oklahoma vibe. And overall, I've had fun listening to country songs in this movie. Another thing I like about this movie is the fact that it's not afraid to take itself seriously while also trying to be funny at the same time. This movie had some funny moments with the characters and some serious moments with the characters as well. There were some funny moments that involved Glenn Powell. Every single piece of dialogue that came from this guy just never failed to make me chuckle. This movie also had some deaths that I'm pretty sure are not meant to be funny, but the way that some characters went out in this movie were just absolutely kind of hilarious to me. I'm not really trying to sound like a terrible person here, but you guys get the point. This movie also did have some serious moments with a lot of different characters. Like, you get to see some real human emotion that can be very affecting towards the target audience. And overall, I thought the funny and serious moments in this movie were handled really well. And the final thing I like about this movie is the fact that it kind of pays homage to the original 1996 classic. This movie did have some scenes that were almost identical in certain points. And overall, this film does give nods to the original in such a unique way. Now let's get right into the negatives. The first negative thing about this movie is that Anthony Ramos plays the third lead role, but I kind of felt like the movie just completely forgot about him. I felt like this movie didn't really give him much to do. He did have some good moments in this movie, but overall, I expected to see more from Anthony Ramos. Another negative thing about this movie is that it kind of felt a tad bit predictable. And the final negative for this movie is the runtime. The film was 2 hours and 2 minutes long, and the opening scene of this movie was great, but everything else building up to the second act just kind of took way too long to fully get on board with. But overall, I had such a blast with watching this movie, and this was a good summer blockbuster and a worthy sequel to the original 1996 classic. And the rating I would give for this is a solid 8.5 out of 10. But anyways, yeah, that's my review of Twisters, and thank you for watching. If you want to see more reviews like this, follow me for more. Peace out. And if you feel it, chase it.